Well, hello and welcome back. Well, if you remember in the last story, Grandad had found a hole in the wire fence at the bottom of the garden, and Nana and Grandad had put their invisibility cloak on with the magic treasure chest magic, and they went and they listened and they heard two naughty goblins planning things. So now Grandad is telling the king and Boris and Bella what they heard. Grandad explained to everyone that he and Nana had heard Zitsy and Fowler talking. Now, Zitsy and Fowler were two of the most dangerous goblins to have around, and they was planning to kidnap the twins. They are going to wait until the guards are changing at midnight, said Grandad, and while they are chatting, Fowler will lift the cots, Zitsy put the roller skates underneath them and quickly wheel them out into the garden, through the hole in the wire fence and back to the Goblin Kingdom. And then they would get a big reward from the Goblin King. What a terrible thing to be planning to do, said Bella. We must stop them, said the king. We must take the twins to the palace so those horrible goblins cannot get their hands on our precious twins. You can't do that, said Grandad. That would take them away from the garden and we would never see them. That's not very fair. I know, I've got a better plan, he said, smiling with a little glint in his eye. So Grandad told them his plan. They all smiled and carried on about their business as though everything was normal. Later on after dinner, Nana went shopping for the things that they would need to put the plan in place. When they got back, Nana and Grandad went into the garden and called Bella and Boris and asked them to inform the king they was ready for a get-together. They all sat round the table as Grandad showed them the things they had bought. We will move the twins and Bella and Boris into our spare bedroom, put signs at the front and back door, and then Grandad got out the signs. Beware of the cat. You see, goblins are very frightened of cats, and cats don't like goblins one little bit either, because they look a little bit like mice. Bella put dolls into the cots and covered them so it looked like the twins were asleep in their beds. All was ready for Fowler and Zitsy to make their attempt to snatch the twins at midnight. The guards were told all about the plans and they carried on as normal. 10 minutes before midnight, Fowler and Zitsy was making their way quietly through the wire fence into Nana and Grandad's garden. Everything's going to plan, they whispered to each other. They crept into Bella and Boris's house and then into the nursery. They looked into the cots and they smiled nastily at each other. The twins were covered up with their blankets, so Zitsy got 4 roller skates out of her bag, and when Fowler lifted the corners, she fitted the skates to each one, and then they did the same with the second cot. When all was ready, they quickly pushed one each out of the house, through the fence, and off they went into the darkness of the Goblin Kingdom. Little did they know they was being watched all the way. That was very well planned indeed, the king said to Grandad. Let's go and see the twins and then we can all have a good night's sleep. Meanwhile, Zitsy and Fowler had reached the Goblin King's palace. They were so excited they was going to get a reward. The Goblin King was not very happy to be summoned at this time of night. What's all this about? He said to Zitsy. Tell me, why have you got me up in the middle of the night? We've brought you a surprise, she said, smiling. Don't keep me in suspense then, get on with it, said the king. We've brought you the gnome twins, she said, pointing to the cots. The king was stunned. The gnome twins? If this is true, you can name your own reward, he bellowed. Don't keep me waiting any longer. Show me quickly. When Zitsy turned the blanket down and saw the doll, she was flabbergasted. "Quick, turn down the other one," she said to Fowler. And they all looked at the two dolls in shock. "I don't understand it," said Zitsy. "Is this some kind of joke?" roared the king. "You bring me here in the middle of night to show me two dolls? You better explain yourself." "I don't know," said Zitsy. "It was all going so well." "The twins were born into the gnome kingdom and we thought we had snatched them," he cried. "You had better go and find these twins or you're both going to be punished," roared the king. Zitsy and Fowler quickly left the palace. "Whatever could have gone wrong?" they said, and hurried back to Nana and Grandad's garden. They crept through the hole in the fence and went up to the house, and then stopped suddenly and started to tremble. They had seen their beware of the cat signs. "Go round the front, Fowler, and see if it's the same," whispered Zitsy. "I can't chance it," said Fowler. "The cat will smell me and he will eat me. We will have to go away for a while and try again some other time." Zitsy was fuming. She stamped her foot and growled with anger. Meanwhile, inside the house, all was quiet. The twins were sleeping peacefully and Bella and Boris was tucked up in bed. The only noise that could be heard was from Grandad, and Grandad was busy snoring. So, who'd have thought it? Them blooming naughty gnomes. I wonder what's going to happen next. Now, if you want to see any pictures, go onto Facebook and have a look at Boris's Adventures. It's a new group that I've put on so you can see some pictures because we can't put pictures on here. So remember, subscribe, like and share, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.